welcome to Lauren Reed Color. Thanks so much for joining me for today's Saturday Snippets. So last week was really hectic at work and I didn't get as much coloring done as I would have liked, but this week was a lot less hectic and I did manage to color quite a few pages, although only one of them is actually finished. Of course, I'm going to show all of that to you, and we are going to continue working on our Tea Tranquility page in Small Victories by Johanna Basford. So what I plan to do today is to, let me just show you. So yeah, this is our page. As you can see, I have started to add in the background. So all I've done right now is add in lines to indicate the steam, all right? Because we said we're going to have a steamy background for our teapot. Anyway, so today what we're going to do is we're going to put in the background for this teacup. We're going to color the butterfly. We're going to shade the lid of the teapot and this ceramic section of the handle, and we're going to start with the background using Neocolor IIs. I really love the fact that this paper takes so many different mediums, and I'm using it to test it out. So for example, if you remember, if you've been following along, we used different mediums for this page, different pencil brands, not different mediums. So we used Faber-Castell Polychromos, Prismacolor, Luminance, Colorsoft, Castle Arts, and Pablo's. So each one of these is also a color along on the channel. And then for our other page that we've completed, here we tried out some wet mediums. So it's all Prismacolors in terms of pencils, but here the base of the snail and of course the brick path are Inktense. And here, the base of the bee and these honeycomb sections are all watercolors with pencils on top. So yeah, I'm really enjoying trying out different mediums in this book. And now it's the time that we try out Neocolor IIs. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we do all that, let me just show you what I've been working on this week. So 1 second. First off, I finished my page in Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosannes, and the page that I did was this Mystical Mountains page, and this is the palette that I used from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cubes. It is, of course, a color along up on the channel for all of the elements, and I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. I love these pink mountains. I think that the sunset sky and the pink mountains really make this page come alive, and I'm really pleased with the snow. I'm still a little bit iffy about the reflection on the water, but I think overall it looks really good. And yeah, this was a labor of love. I enjoyed every moment of it. So did I say what I used? I used Neocolor IIs for basing the sky, and then Prismacolors. I used Derwent Graphitint for basing the mountains, and then Prismacolors on top, and then it's Inktense for basing the snow and the trees, and it's Prismacolors on top, and then the house, the animals, and this bridge are also Derwent Graphitint. So yeah, I really like the end result, as I said already. Let's move on to the next page. I also managed to start a page in Myth and Magic by Kinoko Y Craft, and it is this Griffin and Angel page. I plan on coloring this one for 2 different hashtags. One is the Dark versus Light hashtag hosted by Joe at Piggy Pens and Holly at Hollyberry Colors. And I'm also going to be coloring this for the Japanese Korean coloring books group that is on Instagram, and that one's hosted by Maria at Colorful Mother of 3 and Annika from Axic Fumbles. So it fulfills the criteria for 2 different hashtags, which is very cool. Anyway, my plan is to use this inspiration image for the griffin, and I'm thinking of having an angel with a blue dress perhaps, and a snowy background here at the bottom, and I'm not really sure yet what I'm going to do with the sky. Maybe something purple. We'll see. Right now, I've just started the griffin, so it's still a long way to go before all of the other elements get colored. I hope to finish it by the end of January, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. Okay, so that's my page in Myth and Magic. The next page I worked on is in Romantic Country by Erie, and this is a project book for me. As you can see, I've colored quite a few pages already, but the page that I'm working on is this Cocotte map overview page. I wanted to get an antique style map look to it, and so I used Neocolor IIs to base, and I'm using Carinda Ash Pablo pencils for the shading because they are quite muted, and I think I'll get a nice aged effect with them. I also am I have quite a few projects on the go, so I've taken all my pencils that are being used for different projects, and I've collected them together and tied them up with a rubber band so that I know which pencils go with which project, because for the first time, I think I have 7 pages going at the same time. Anyway, so this week I didn't really make that much progress because I was focusing on other pages, but I did manage to color these trees, and I'm going to use the same combinations for all of the other trees on the page and then move on to the buildings. And I think that once I do that, the page is more or less done. It's not a page that takes a lot of time. I just have to find the actual time to sit and finish coloring it. So that is Romantic Country by Erie. Next is a page in Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford, and this is the page that I'm working on. Just one second, I have to find it. It's, oops, I just lost my little sticky thing. Hold on. It's this one. Okay, so this is a buddy color with Christine from Sync Colors. We have such fun with our buddy colors because we chat and we show each other progress reports as we go along. Christine has actually finished her page and it is just magnificent. It glows. You'll see. I will show it in my completed pages video, but it is really, really beautiful and she did a fabulous job. It looks completely different to mine. We really did not go in the same direction at all, which is cool. Anyway, so for me, I am using Castle Arts pencils and I decided that I wanted to use this color palette. I will put it up over here and you can see the pinks and the blues and the yellows. So that is what I have been doing so far, these dual tones, and I'm working from outside in, and I'm matching the two sides of the page. So if you take this side of the page and the side of the page together, it's basically one page completed. So I just have this middle section to do, and I'm hoping to finish it this coming week. I am really not a fan of coloring leaves, but for some reason, these leaves are not irritating me as much as leaves usually do. It could be because I'm alternating colors, and I'm also doing the matching leaves on the two sides of the page, so it's going much more quickly than it would otherwise go if I was using the same colors all the time. I'm wondering if my issue with leaves is that so often they're green and kind of boring. So the fact that I've been using different colors might be really helping me get over my issue with coloring leaves. Anyway, so this is my progress in Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford, and I have one more book which I'll show you now. The last book of the week is in Mythographic Dragonspell by Joseph Katzenbang, and the page that I'm working on is the Custodian of Light page. This is the page that we are doing in the Dragonspell group on Instagram. That group is hosted by Vera at Zuvira Art and Yolanda from Coloring by Mama. We're having a really good time coloring this book together, and the reveal for this page is the 24th of January, so I still have a couple of days to finish it, and I hope to do it this weekend. So basically I based everything with alcohol marker, and I'm using Castle Arts pencils on top. I'm hoping that the dragon will look a little bit more black once all of the other elements are on the page, and if it's still not black enough, then I'm going to take a watercolor marker and I'm going to darken up some of the shaded areas to make them look a little bit more black, because my idea for this page was to have the dragon be black and then all of the other leaves and flowers and trees and moss and all the other things be pinkish colors. But the way it's coming out right now is this dragon is a bit too purple, and I think that it's overshadowing the other elements. So I'm going to try and fix that. If not, that's also okay, because I do like the way my dragon has come out. I love his cute little face. Yeah, so this is a fun page to color. As for the background, I think it's going to be a bouquet background. I want to make use of all of these circles that are on the page and create a bouquet background. So it's been a while since I did one of those, and I think I might be a bit rusty, but it's always good to practice techniques. Right, so that is Mythographic Dragon Spell by Joseph Katzenbang. And now we are going to move on to our actual coloring for today in our Tea Tranquility page in Small Victories. So stay tuned. Just a reminder that these videos are chatty videos and I will be chatting along about all sorts of different things. And so if that is your cup of tea, please join me. Anyway, as I said before, we're going to be working on this page, and we're going to start by putting in the background for the teacup. So I'm just going to zoom in and we'll get started. Right, so we are zoomed in, and I am going to be using watercolor pencils for this background. The pencils I'm using are the Faber-Castell Art Grip Aquarelle pencils, 154, 144 and 156. If you don't have these pencils, then you can also use Albrecht Dürer in the exact same numbers, or if you're not using water mediums, you can use polychromos, or actually any watercolor medium that you have that matches these colors. Yeah, so we're just going to start with that, and I'm going to start with our lightest color, which is the 154. Okay, and I'm just putting this pencil down over everything. Okay, so now that we've gotten started with our actual coloring, I can start talking to you. So good morning, everyone. I hope that you are having a good weekend. We are rapidly approaching the end of the month. I can't believe it. January has gone by really quickly, and in the past, this has been a month that really drags for some reason, but this year it's gone by quickly. Anyway, so I'm actually excited for the end of the month because if you've been involved and been noticing what's going on in the coloring community, you know that we are doing a month-long series of events dedicated to collecting, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's gone right out of my head. Raising, yes, fundraising some money for the World Cancer Research Fund. And one of the events is a tubathon. And so I'm really looking forward to doing my very first live stream. I hope that you'll join us on the 1st of February. There are lots of colorists with YouTube channels who are contributing to this really fun event, and I look forward to meeting you all in person, so to speak. Yeah, I will put the video to Jo from Piggy Pens. It's her initiative, so I will put her video explaining all of the details in the description box, and you can check it out. Right, now we're moving on to our next color, which is 156, okay? And I'm doing exactly the same as I did here. On the other, however, I do see that this needs sharpening. So 1 second. Yeah, the spaces in this book are really tiny, so it's good to have a sharp pencil. So now we're going to go, as I said, we're going to do exactly the same. So I'm going around over here and a little bit in. Yeah, so I really hope that you'll join us for this wonderful event. And there are other events that are going on throughout the month. RJ Hampson has kindly created a page that people will be coloring throughout February. And it's available for purchase on his website. And the proceeds, again, will be going to the World Cancer Research Fund. So thank you so much, Russell, for contributing the beautiful page. I will be coloring the page on my live stream. So if you're interested in coloring that page along with me, do make sure to go over to his website and purchase the page, and then you can color with me on my live stream. Or you can color any other page as I'm, chatting along. Yeah, so there's that. And What else? What happened this week? I'm trying to think. As I said in the beginning of the video, work was a lot less hectic. So I managed to do quite a bit more coloring. The end of the semester is rapidly approaching. And so students are very preoccupied with doing their exams and writing their papers and all that. So yesterday in class, in my prose and drama course, we did a practice exam, and it was really good because ultimately it ended up being a review of the material. So the students were happy with that. Okay, now we're moving on to our next color, which is 144. Okay, and this is just for the shadows. Yeah, so it ended up being a review of the material. I think they're a lot more relaxed now that they see what the structure of the exam will be and what I expect, because I modeled the answers with them. I show them exactly how to answer, because students have a bad tendency to not answer the question that I actually ask. Rather than answering what I ask, they retell the whole story. So I told them that they mustn't do that. If they do that, they'll lose points. They must actually answer the question I ask. Yeah, we went over that. And in my other course, which was 20th century literature, we also talked about the exam. We finished discussing Lord of the Flies. We talked about the biblical allusions in the book, just to finish that up, because it was the last lesson. Yesterday was the last lesson for all of these groups. And then we spoke about the exam and what would be on it. These ones are second year students, so they've taken my prose and drama course before and they know, I hope, how to answer the questions. I'm just going to get my water brush and we are going to activate this pencil. One sec. So I have my water brush and a cloth to dab it on, so we can start activating that. Yeah, so that was my relatively quiet work week, which was a relief after last week, which was so busy because I was doing quizzes and presentations and all sorts of other things and marking all of these things. So it was really, really busy. I didn't really have time to do very much, which was sad because I love coloring. It relaxes me. Yeah, so it was good this week to have a little less stress and more time for coloring. Okay, so I start in the light and I go to the shadow areas here. All right, and once it dries lighter. Keep that in mind. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna let that dry and we are going to move on to the butterfly. Okay, moving on to the butterfly. I've decided, because we did these leaves in the teal colors, I'm going to make the butterfly gold and pink. So for that, we're going to be using pink white, purplish red, 50% sepia, natural russet, and it's golden bismuth. So yeah, it's going to be a pink and gold butterfly. So we're going to start with the golden bismuth. Let me just put those pencils on the side. And I'm thinking that we're going to do the inside. Do I want the inside of the butterfly to be gold or the outside? I'm thinking, let's do the inside. Make a decision. Okay, so we're going to do this bit gold. So I'm just putting this color down over all of this. Okay, now we're going in with our natural russet. And it's just going to be closer to the body of the butterfly. Yeah, so what was I talking about? Oh yes, work. Anyway, that was work. I'm looking forward to the semester break. Yeah, I'll be marking papers and exams and all that, but I'll also have a little bit more time to color as well. I'm really glad that the semester break coincides with the tubathon. Okay, and now we're going to take the sepia and only in the shadow areas around the body of the butterfly, and we're also going to use this color in the body of the butterfly itself. We might put some black there as well, but for now we'll just do that. Again, I'm putting my highlight on the right because our sun is coming from this direction. Right, okay. Now we're going to go in with the pink white. Oh, this one also needs to be sharpened. 1 second. I really try not to sharpen the luminance too much because they're so expensive. But they are open stock, so that's great. Even if I finish one, I don't have to buy an entire set. Christine and I were talking about that while we were coloring our page and chatting on the Instagram. We were discussing pencils being open stock. So it's one of the problems with the budget brands like Castle Arts or Black Widows or Color or Brute Fooner, that these pencils are not available open stock. So if you use up one pencil, if you want to replace that particular pencil, you have to buy the whole set, and that's, in my opinion, just a waste. So I think what I'm going to be doing, I have Castle Arts and I have Sue color pencils. Those are the two budget sets that I have, and I think I'm just going to use them up, and I'm not going to be buying them again because I'd rather have sets that are available open stock. So that is a decision that I have made following my conversation with Christine. Because I was thinking about my Castle Arts pencils are rapidly coming to an end. I've finished quite a few pencils, and some of the others are really close to being finished. And I was thinking, do I want to, hold on, I've got some pencil dust there. Wait, I'll not smudge it with my finger. 1 second. Okay, let's just do that. Yes, okay. So I was really considering purchasing a new set, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I would much rather just stick to sets that have pencils that are available open stock. That's a better choice. Okay, so that's a decision I made this week. What else did I do this week? So, oh, I like that. That came out really nicely. Sometimes I surprise myself. Okay, I'm just going to blend out this pink just a little bit with the pink white. Yeah, and there's our butterfly, all finished. Right, okay, and let's just have a look at the whole page for a second. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm really happy with the way this looks, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to shade the lid of the teapot and this ceramic section, and then we are going to start to put in the Neocolor IIs. Okay, so let's do that now. Yeah, so as you can see, there are some lines visible from where I erased some of my pencil work for the background, but that will all be covered up with the Neocolor IIs and the shading. So even if you've made a mistake, yes, it can easily be erased and covered up. Okay, so as I said, we're doing this, and the pencils that I'm using are Prussian blue, malachite green, and turquoise blue, and we're going to start with our lightest shade, which is the turquoise blue. Okay. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was talking about. Never mind. Let's talk about something else. So if you are a member of the Mythographic Collective, so Maria from Colorful Mother of Three and I are running a annual hashtag to color more in our mythographic books, and there's also a group on Instagram. Everyone is welcome to join. So for this hashtag, there is a book of the month, there is a page of the month, and there are monthly prompts that are chosen based on the season or coloring events in the community. So the infographic for February will be posted on Instagram in a couple of days, but we have already chosen the book, which is Fairy Wonderland by Fabiana Atanasio. We've also chosen the page. There's a poll. We vote on the book, we vote on the page, but Maria and I decide on the prompts. So we've chosen, as I said, the book, and we've chosen the page, which is the Pomegranate Elf page. I have wanted to color that page for so long. And we've also put up the prompts, which are heart, fairy or fae, chain or locket, and what was the last one? Chain or locket? Oh, mirror or reflection. And in the group, because one of the prompts is fairy, because it's February. In February, we started talking about what constitutes a fairy. So, because one of the participants in the group, she showed a page with a girl, and she was asking if this is a fairy because it doesn't have wings. So then we got into a discussion in the group about the original fae, the traditional fae. So the idea of fairies with wings is a Victorian invention made popular by Tinkerbell. J.M. Barrie wrote Peter Pan, and he has his fairy Tinkerbell, and she has wings. And so that is why fairies with wings are popular today. We associate wings with them. I think I need some white. And yet in traditional Celtic and Irish mythology, the fae do not have wings. In fact, they are not cute. They are not lovable. They are quite vicious and mean and aggressive, and definitely you don't want to mess with the fae. And there are lots of different types of fae. There's the Seelie and the Unseelie, and the Tuatha De Danann and the Duna She, and they're brownies and pixies and boggarts and all sorts of different kinds of fae. I just realized I did not put in this color here, did I? I can't remember. Never mind, we will do it now. And so it's quite okay to have creatures that do not have wings. They are still the fae. So if your page has a fairy with wings, that's great. But if it has an elf or a brownie or a gnome or any other kind of fae being on it, then you can use that too for the prompts. As long as it's in a mythographic book, it's fine. And of course you can use the prompts, the other prompts. There's something for everybody. This is why we started this group with lots of different options, so that everyone, no matter which book you have, can participate. Okay, I'm just shading here a bit more. Yeah, everyone can participate. This is our goal. We want to color in as many mythographic books as possible. Okay, so that's that. So I'm actually going to be probably coloring or trying to color 3 mythographic books in February. Okay, let's have a look. Let's zoom out and look again. Okay, so now we are moving on to the most intimidating part of the page, and that is the background. I really love the way that this page has come out with the colors that we've used, and I'm a little bit scared to ruin it with the background. Nevertheless, it definitely needs a background, and over the weeks that we've been working on this page, we've decided we're going to be doing a smoky background, and for that purpose, I have added in all of these lines to indicate that the smoke is sort of taking over the page. The steam from the teapot is sort of taking over the background. So we've got these lines here at the bottom, and then the steam coming out of the spout and then going around and just, taking over completely. Anyway, so in order to choose colors, I consulted my assistant, yes, my roommate, and she said that the purple is the color that is the least dominant on this page. Like there's very few elements that have this color, and so it would be a good idea to have it be in the background. And then I looked at our color palette. Yes, this is the purple. And so if we turn it over, we have these different shades. So I've taken a couple of colors from the Neocolor IIs that I believe are a good match for the palette. And it is periwinkle blue and royal blue. All right, these two colors together. I'm also going to be using white. And for the gray, so on the palette we also have this azure mist, and one of the colors that we have as an option in the shades is this gray color. So I have light gray in the Neocolor II, and I have regular gray in the Neocolor II. Once these are activated, they will be a little bit lighter, and we will shade on top with the luminance. Okay, so let's get started. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. I'm just going to put down a page to protect my hand, the page from my hand. I'm just trying to think where we're going to start with this. Let's start from the bottom. And we're going to start with the steam. So we're going to take the gray. Okay, the light gray, and we're just going to put a light layer of this over everything. Okay. I like to use circular motions. I'm just moving that because otherwise it's going to create an indent. I like to use circular motions. Okay, around our teaspoon there. Oops, sorry, that's making a noise. 1 second. Yeah, so I'm just putting this over everything using circular motions. Okay. Yeah, so where was I? What was I talking about before I started doing this? I can't remember. Okay, that's background. So that's going to be the more of the purplish color, but this is steam. So we were talking about the prompts for the mythographic collective group. Yeah, so feel free to join. If you want to join the group, DM me. If you don't want to join the group, that's also great. You can just color and use the hashtag. All are welcome. Let me now put my page there. We're just going to put this here. So what else did I do this week? I've decided to take a break from watching Drop Dead Diva. It was getting a little bit too repetitive, and I needed a break. And so, yeah. I started watching, what did I watch? Oh, I watched the new Netflix adaptation of the Seven Dials mystery by Agatha Christie. So let me just say that I am a huge Agatha Christie fan. I've read everything, well, almost everything she's ever written. There are a couple I didn't read yet. And I love her books. So my favorite is Death on the Nile. If you've been watching the channel, you know I love anything to do with Egypt. So yeah, that's my favorite Agatha Christie. And actually, The Seven Dials is not a particularly good book. I wasn't that much of a fan of it. And the adaptation it had potential, I want to say. The problem is it was too slow. They focused on things that were not important and spent too much time on them rather than getting to the meat of the story. I did like the changes that they made. I think that the changes from the book were pretty good. And of course, Helena Bonham Carter is just one of the most amazing actresses of all times, in my opinion, and she was great. But I felt that there was also a waste of talent. They completely wasted Ian Glenn. I mean, he's such a wonderful actor, and he's got, I don't want to give anything away, but I felt that he was just completely wasted, both as an actor, as a character. And this was one change from the book that I didn't like. They did change something about him that I felt was unnecessary. And also, I mean, if you've read the book, then you'll know the plot. So in that respect, okay, I can understand knowing the ending because you've read the book. But they just made everything so obvious. I mean, duh. Could you make a neon sign and just point to the killer? If you hadn't read the book and you didn't know who the killer was, as soon as the killer is introduced, you know who it is. It was so obvious. It was far too much foreshadowing as to the killer. Okay, so there is our first layer of our smoke. Now we're going to use the regular gray for shadows for the smoke. So we're going to put it around the teapot, and we're going to use these lines that I've put in just a little bit. Okay, and also underneath the teapot, and over there, and over there, and just putting some shadow colors around the teaspoon. Remember, it's all going to get merged and blended together when we activate it with water, and then we will also be blending more when we put the pencil on top. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit around the spout there. Yeah, so it was far too obvious who the baddie was. I don't mind some foreshadowing, so that it's possible for the reader or the viewer to, figure it out for themselves. But I don't like it when it's so obvious that a 2-year-old could figure it out. Yeah, and it's a pity because it had potential. And I love Agatha Christie. Anyway, what else did I watch? So I watched that. And I watched that last week when I was coloring over the weekend. And then I went back to watching House of the Dragon. So House of the Dragon is a series that I cannot binge watch. It's just too much. There's too much going on, too much intensity, too much. So I watched 3 episodes and then I took a long break. I'm trying to think, where else do I want to put shadows? I don't want to do it too much, so let's put a little bit over there in the bends of the steam. Yeah, so I watched 3 episodes a while ago, and then I took a long break. And then I watched other things, and then I went back to it, and I watched another 3 episodes, and then I took a break. And so now I've also watched 3 episodes. So now I have finished season 1. And wow, that ending of season 1 was quite something. Anyway, so now I'm going to take a break again before I start watching season 2. And by the time I finish watching season 2, season 3 will probably be out. So that works out well. All right, and now we're going to do this side. Okay, around the spout over there. Okay, I don't want to go over these little dots because we're going to do them with pencil. Underneath the teapot here. Okay, it's some of these bends a little bit. Yeah, so I finished watching that season, and now I am going back to Shetland. So again, that's a show that I watched a couple of seasons, took a break, went back, watched another couple of seasons, took a break, And now now I am on season 8. So I've started watching season 8. There are 10 seasons right now. I don't know if it's been renewed for another season. We will see. But I'm watching season 8 now. Yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying it. It's a great show. The setting is just magnificent. It's the Shetland Isles in Scotland, and just amazing scenery. Okay, so that is the steam. Now, do I want to activate it and then do the rest of the background, or just... No, we're going to do the rest of the background because sometimes I like to merge the colors. Right, so for the background, we're going to take the periwinkle blue. Now, I'm going to be really light-handed. I'm going to try to be really light-handed. I really don't want too much of this color. So we're just going to, in fact, we can take this edge and just do that. Oops. We can merge this a little bit into the smoke. Okay. I really want to try and be as light-handed as possible. I can already see it's a bit too heavy. Never mind. Yeah, so it will go into the spine with the water. We will do that. Let's move the page a bit. I think if I turn it, it will be a little bit better. I'm trying not to get too much on the opposite page, even though we could do the same background on the opposite page if necessary. Yeah, so I'm watching Shetland, and then I was watching shows and I took breaks from them, so I think I'll just, go around and start again. Continue from where I left off. So FBI and Bones, but yeah, right now it's Shetland. We'll see how much I can get through before I've had enough of that and need a break. I am reading The Viper by Monica McCarthy. It's a historical romance set in the time of Robert the Bruce. It seems I'm on a Scotland kick. So it's set in the time of Robert the Bruce and Edward the First. And with this series, The Viper is the 4th book. The characters are based on real people, even the main characters, which is kind of cool. But it also means that I'm constantly going down the Wikipedia rabbit hole. So I read something, I read about a person or an event, and then I have to go and find out about the real person and the real event and see how close the book has gotten to the actual story. I must say, Monica McCarthy's research for this book is out of this world. She obviously went and read quite a few books and articles and did research about these people so that she could incorporate them into her story. She's done an amazing job. So this particular story, as I said, this is book 4. This one, the hero is one of those heroes that he's a tortured hero. Everyone's afraid of him. He's got a bad reputation. He's a real person as well, and so is the heroine. I don't want to give too much away. In case you read it, it's a great series. Also quite heavy on the drama, so I've also taken breaks between reading the books in this series. All right, let's. I really hope that once we activate with water, the lines will be softened. Even if they're not softened, we can still go in and soften them with pencil. Yeah, so I'm reading that. Okay, let's now just turn this a bit more. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to try and get that glow effect that we've got there. I'm not sure we'll be able to do it. We'll see. We will see. This is an experiment. still perfecting my use of Neocolor IIs. I tend to be too heavy-handed. No matter how hard I try to get a really light layer, it doesn't always work. Okay, now we're going to go in with our next color, which is the royal blue. It's royal blue, but it's actually a purple color. It is very close to the middle one here. I'm not using the darkest one because we're going to do that with pencil. Okay, so now let's see, where are we going to put this? We're going to put this in the shadow areas. Around the spoon. Around the frame. Of the teapot. You don't have to go right up to the edge because when you activate with water, you can get into the little nooks and crannies. Okay, I don't want too much of this color. We can put it under the butterfly. I'm going to leave that as a bit of a highlight because our light is, remember, our light is coming from this direction. Okay, hold on. Let's see, let me put, here it's very important that you have a sheet to protect your hand because if the Neocolor IIs get activated by the heat of your hand, then it's gonna get smudged. And of course you get Neocolor II all over your hand. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Okay, around the butterfly again. Over these little squiggly things underneath the teapot. In this crevice over here. Okay. Okay. Right. I want to darken up this edge over here. Oh, no, actually, that's where our light is coming from, so let's just do that. This side can be darker. Let's do this side a bit darker. Yeah, let's try and get in there a little bit. Yeah, I can already see. Far too heavy-handed. Never mind. It's okay. Yeah, so what else was I talking about? Can't remember. Oh, yes, books. Yeah, Monica McCarthy. Yeah, so excellent series. Highly recommended. Okay, let's have a look. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to activate. All right, so I'm just going to get my water brush. Okay, so I've got my water brush and my cloth. And I'm going to go from, I'm going to start with the gray. I'm going to do the gray first. And I think we're going to start from the top, so that I don't smudge. Okay. Yeah. And I go in, I start with the light gray and I go into the dark. Yeah, so that's what I did this week. I was also watching quite a few videos and I saw, I think her name is Christine. Christine from Cat and Pace raised a very interesting question in her video this week, and it's caused a little bit of a debate in the coloring community, if you've been noticing perhaps. So quite a few people have been discussing it on their channel, so I thought I would also, give my 2 cents. And that is the issue of memberships on YouTube. So YouTube's algorithm is the pits. And it seems to be, not only YouTube, Instagram's algorithm is also the pits. I don't think anyone sees most of the posts from the people they follow on Instagram. And I'm not so sure that on YouTube is actually promoting the videos to the coloring community. And I'm wondering if even people who subscribe get notified of the videos that we put out. Anyway, so one of the issues that's come out is that YouTube is giving preferential treatment to channels that have memberships, channels that have sponsorships and things like that. And some of the colorists in the coloring community who have YouTube channels have begun memberships, and they charge a really small amount. And I totally understand where they're coming from. They especially if it's a channel who this is their job, so to speak. Yes, they don't have a job, and basically YouTube is their job. So they've got memberships, and they charge a small amount every month, and they give perks, extra videos. Perhaps if they're also artists, they give a page to color. And yeah, I totally get this. I have no problem with, in principle, I have no problem with this, that people, they provide a service in a way, and they deserve to get, some recompense, some money for their efforts. I really don't have a problem with this. However, there are issues with it as well. And I just want to say, in terms of my channel, I am not going to be doing memberships. I feel that our community is very open and very welcoming, and I think it should, my content at least. I don't judge people who do memberships, but my content, at least for me, because of my view of the community as welcoming and friendly and open, I want my content to remain that way. So if you wanted to know what I will be doing with my channel, I am not going to be doing memberships. I do have a job that pays reasonably well, and so I don't need to, whatever little amount I get from YouTube for monetization of the videos. And the only reason I have monetization, let me tell you, is because I was told that regardless of whether you are monetized, YouTube will show adverts, commercials on your channel. And I'm like, well, if they're going to show commercials anyway, I might as well take some of their hard-earned money for myself. They're going to show the commercials anyway. If there were no commercials on channels that weren't monetized, I would not be monetized. Anyway, but I digress. Let's get back to the issue of memberships. So as I said, I will not be doing memberships, but there are those who do. And as I said before, I understand the reasoning behind it, which is fine. But I fear some of the consequences. So not everybody can afford to, pay to view extra content. There's also the concern that the people who have memberships will, I'm not saying this is going to happen for everybody, but a concern might be that they'll be so focused on providing the perks for the paying members of the channel that the free content will suffer. Now, I do subscribe to two channels myself. One of them is Coloring with Elena. And I must say that, first of all, her art is amazing and she definitely deserves, the subscription. But also, it's not that expensive. And also, she still provides a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a ton of free content. Even her paid content also has speed colorings, so you don't miss out on anything. And, there's no feeling of being, in a special clique. That's another concern of mine, is that people who pay will suddenly become in the know. They will suddenly, be have more knowledge or be in a friendship that's created in this group and be left, and the people who don't pay will be left out. That really concerns me, mainly because I feel that it's detrimental to our community. So it has its ups and its downs. It's a complex issue, and I'm really not sure. But I don't judge anybody for their decisions to have memberships, to not have memberships. Everybody is entitled to what they feel is best for them, and that's more than acceptable. But me personally, I will not be doing the memberships for the reasons that I mentioned. Yes. And I'm not sure, as I said, I already subscribe to 2 channels. The other one that I subscribe to is not on YouTube. It's on Patreon. It's Coloring with Olivier. She just also does amazing work and teaches. She's an excellent teacher. And I apply techniques that I learned from her to other pages. As I go along, if I see subscriptions that I feel might benefit my coloring or that I can learn a great deal from, I might add another subscription. But for now, I'm just going to keep what I have. While I do make a good living, my funds are also not exhaustive. And also there's the idea of, if I follow one channel, and am I neglecting another channel? Will that other channel be angry that I'm not following them? It's just something that concerns me. I don't want to offend anybody by not subscribing. Okay, I don't want to rub on the paper too much. Let's just look at the page underneath and make sure nothing is going through. Oh, it's fabulous. No bleed through at all. So I don't want to offend anyone by not subscribing to their channel. It can be a minefield. So yeah, and it was a really interesting video, and Christine really treated the issue with respect, and there was no blaming or anything like that. And that in my opinion is the most important thing. We, regardless of whether somebody has memberships or not, we must all treat each other with love and respect and keep our community the safe, welcoming, lovable place that it is. That, for me, that's the most important thing. Yes, to maintain our sense of community, because this is such a great community, and not all communities have what we have. There's no drama, and I'd like to keep it that way. That's my 2 cents on that topic. Oh, this is actually coming out pretty good. The Neocolor IIs work really nicely on this page. They are blending out quite well. Even if there's some lines, it's okay. They can be fixed when we put pencil on top. Also, with any water medium, you just let it do what it wants. Neocolor IIs are a little bit more easy to control than say watercolor from a pan. But it's still a water medium. Yeah, I wanted this side of the page to be a bit darker, so that's fine. When it comes to the other side, we will make sure that we keep our highlights. What else did I want to talk about? Speaking of, so I was watching Jordy from Jordy Colors. I was watching her channel, her 2 cents about the topic. If you're interested, also, you can check out her video where she talks about this as well. Also, Erica from Elm Colors put in her opinion on it. I recommend watching her video also. But it's both of their weekly vlog style videos. Erica's video, Erica at Elm Colors, hers is called Weekly Whips. So it's last week's weekly whip. And Jordy at Jordy Colors, it's called Sunday Snippets. And it's also last week's vlog, where she talks about it. and colors a page from Melpa Menichatsipanigatu's new, no, it's not her new book, it's Circle of Life. I love what Joe is doing with that page. Anyway, never mind, I digress again. Yeah, so check out their videos where they talk about the issue, but also Joe, let me get back to what I was thinking of talking about. Joe was asking her viewers what they want to see on the channel. Because there's also the same video about the memberships has raised issues about people, not issues is not the right word, questions about what people want to see on coloring channels. So the most popular videos are flip-throughs and collection videos and completed pages videos and planned pages videos and all of those kinds of videos. They're very popular. But some people say that they want to see, tutorials and technique videos and tips and tricks and things like that. And so I'm interested in knowing what you guys want to see on the channel. Would you like, right now there's some Color With Me series, there's some tips and tricks videos, together with the flip-throughs, the book collections, the things like that. I'm going to be doing a video, for example, on my untouched book collection. I'm going to be doing a video showing you how I use Inktense in my coloring books, different techniques, methods, things like that. But and I will do the occasional full page tutorial like the recent mythographic one. But is this something you're interested in? I know both from my own channel and from other channels that the tutorials do not get the views, but that's okay. I don't care about that. I don't care if they don't get the views. I'm just happy if people, find them useful. There are other, videos that can get views. But if that's something you like and you enjoy and you find helpful, just, send me a message or put a comment in the comment box for the video that this is something you enjoy and you're interested in seeing more of. I also have this bad tendency of saying I'm going to do a tutorial and then forget about it. Real life gets in the way, and the next thing you know, your grand plans for doing something vanish in a puff of smoke. Okay, I don't want to rub the paper too much as well. Yes, all right. Let's do, I think I've missed this section. All right. Oh, I think this is actually coming out better than I expected. You can always take where there's a lot of color and put it into areas where you didn't put any color. That's a good way, especially when there's such small areas and you don't want to go over elements that you've already colored. And the thing about this is that it's going to create the texture for smoke as well, the smoky texture as well, so which is what we want. Okay. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you're interested in seeing on the channel, what you enjoy. I love doing these Saturday snippets. I think of all of my videos, these are my favorite because I get to chat with you and people leave me comments and we talk about things, even in the comments, which is fun. So I really like doing these videos. But I also like doing the tutorials. I'm up for anything. You just let me know what you like and I will make every effort to, make videos that people enjoy. Anything else I wanted to talk about this week that happened that I saw? Oh, so if you've been watching the channel, you know that I follow a lady on Threads, Camp Carter. She fosters puppies. Yes, I cannot have a video where I do not talk about puppies. So all of her previous litter, the hallowed hounds or the Halloween hounds, I can't remember if they were called the hallowed hounds or the Halloween hounds, they all got snapped up right quick. They were so cute. And now she's got new ones. She's gone back to fostering. Are they pit bulls? They're pit bulls. Yeah, a voice from the back there, my roommate, was just reminding me that they are pit bulls. That's what she usually fosters. The previous litter, the hallowed hounds, were some sort of short-haired, wiry terrier, even though in my opinion their mother was a wiry terrier. The father is remaining a mystery, but he was fluffy because most of the puppies are really fluffy. Anyway, so yeah, she's got new puppies. They don't have names yet. She gives each litter of puppies that she fosters, she gives them all names. When they're adopted, their new, I don't like to say owners, their new people, their new family can decide to change their name or keep the name that Carter gave the puppies. Some do, some keep the name, and some change the name. All the hallowed hounds got new names. They had names like Nyx and Hex and Eclipse. And now they have names like Gary. And I think there's a Henry. And there's a Nugget. But the other ones are real names. I love that there's a puppy named Gary. Anyway, I digress again. So the new puppies there's 6. I think they are all boys. Not sure. I don't think she's given information about their gender, but from something that she said, I got the impression that they're all male. And they don't have names yet. I mean, at least not since the last time I checked. I will go onto her threads and I will see if they have names yet. And I will update you on their new names next week. Oh, wow. I love that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to let this dry. You cannot put any pencil down until this is 100% dry, and so I'm going to leave it for next week so that when we color it in with pencils next week, it will be completely dry and we can shade and darken up the steam and darken up the background. But I really, really love that. So thank you so much for joining me on today's Saturday Snippets. Next week, we will probably be finishing this page, and then we will have to decide what we're going to be doing for the following Saturday Snippets. I'm thinking of taking a little break from Small Victories and perhaps coloring a page in a different book. I said I was going to color a page in the Country Charm book using the same palette as the page that I finished. So I'm considering perhaps doing that on our next few Saturday Snippets. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in seeing. In any case, this page is almost done. So again, thanks for joining me. I hope to see you again next week where we complete this page, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.